What is going on, everybody? Your boy Forexfunded here. So, this is the first live stream since we have switched from a chart analysis service to a mentorship setup. So, the changes will be massive. There will be almost daily streams, whether it is a public stream or a private stream. I can't tell you that right now. Sometimes they'll be public on YouTube, sometimes they will be private to the mentorship, but there will be a whole lot of content within the mentorship. There will be my full strategy breakdown in the form of videos, obviously. Still will be sending my analysis, my signals, our chat rooms, all the goodies. So if you're honestly interested in becoming a full-time trader, you got to check it out. I promise you it'll be one of the fastest ways for you to become a fully profitable trader. I know this because I have mentored hundreds of people, and 90% of them who truly tried to become profitable became profitable. So now, instead of doing a one-on-one mentorship, having to do 9 calls a day or whatever it is, it's going to be more of a public mentorship. So obviously, you guys don't care about all that. You guys care about the charts. So let's hop into it. So last night, I mentioned how we were respecting this downtrend, right? We were right over here. And I said, they might want to come lower towards this 61, this 5100 level. Obviously, that trend has been broken. So sells are no longer looking appetizing. Now, you guys know us, we don't like to sell in general. So I was probably just gonna wait for the buy zone. But since we have broken to the upside, I am now more focused on buys, right? As you can see, we have our fib, our most recent fib pulled up from our low to our high. And obviously, we're going to be looking for our golden zone retest. In addition to that, we do have a fresh 15-minute cross. We are probably still within our 4-hour cross. We are. And we just got a really good retest of it. Not really a retest, but we retested it, we fell below it, and then we had this nice big bullish candle to get us back above it. So I am definitely still very bullish. My target is still the same, 52.95, and then obviously all-time high, but we'll take every little bit that we can. So if we do see continued respect for this golden zone, then I will be looking to go long, right? If we can continue to respect our golden zone, I will look to go long. We're not going to get 52.95 today, right? Let's not joke ourselves, right? The most that we would likely get would be, a little bit below it, right? This is our daily average true range, right? We don't have to see that all in one day. We don't really care. But for instance, if this 15-minute candle does close blue, I'll probably go along. You can argue that we're already ready to go long, right? Because we did have a very nice rejection. So you could go long right now. Problem with that is your stop loss is going to be pretty fucking wide, right? Almost 400 pips from current price. If you're risking, a fixed percentage, that's not too bad in terms of the size, right? And what I mean by that is you're still going to be risking 0.5%, 1%, whatever it is. But that means your lot size is going to be hella low, and your risk to reward is not really there, right? And we really want to get that tightened up, right? We really want to see between 2 and 250 pip stop loss, right? Um, but it's not a good time yet for you to say, okay, well, we're not going to go any lower. You definitely could go low. You can use every fib in this fib as long as you do not break the low, and you're still are bullish. So that's why I'm still waiting right now. It is early into New York, so I would prefer to wait a little while longer. That way, we can potentially get a much tighter stop loss. Now, in addition to that, say that our fib does not want to hold, right? That's fine. That happens from time to time. You know, if we end up breaking back below this trend line, we could extend the lows down towards our 61 area, which is where I'm really looking to buy. Um, if we do have a nice rejection of 61, I will look to buy, and you might say, well, what is a nice rejection? Well, this right here is a nice rejection from a fib, right? You have a nice bullish pin bar or doji candle, whatever you want to call it, right? So your entry would be on that following candle. Your stop for me, either right below or somewhere in the middle, right? In case it wants to dance around. Ideally, you are going to want it pretty tight, because if you start to dance around too much, it's just going to tell you that, hey, maybe we're not ready to go. And with a fib retest, you really look for it to just go, exactly what had happened. But sometimes it's not as pretty as you would like it to be. But as always, that's okay. So for me, for now, just continued monitorization, see if we get some kind of follow through. Because, think about it. Even if you do get the follow through and you have to enter a bit higher, you're able to tighten your stop, because you're putting more validity to that being the bottom, or not the bottom, but the higher low, right? What's up, Pablo? Yeah, it's gonna take a while to get these streams popping. Let me tell you, Pablo. We gonna have 1, 2, 3 viewers for like 2 weeks. But I be seeing these people go live every day, holding like 50 to 100 viewers. And this one dude I've been watching, Pablo, bruh, bro sold his mentorship like 30 times this month, and his shit is more expensive than mine. So I'm like, I just gotta put in the work. The same with trading. You put in the work and you see the results. So it's been a long time away from the charts. Yeah, man. I'm pretty much I'm focused on, having this year be my either my first really good year of education in terms of like numbers, or my last year trying to help people. You know, me. I've been helping people for fucking almost 7 years, and compared to these gurus online, the big names like Alex G and all these people, like Brian, making no money from this shit. So I'm finna stop helping people all in all if I don't start to see some money from it. I don't need the people to live. I need my trade so I can live. But I figured I'd give it one last real good push. But if it don't work, then maybe it's just not meant for me to be a guru. But I know in the past when I did, more regular streams, I know people enjoyed that. So hopefully now that I've moved away from the chart analysis, and focusing more on the mentorship, where it's much more of an earn while you learn, hopefully people take advantage of that. But you never know. A lot of people want it to literally be spoon fed to you. That's why they fall to the Instagram trap. They see some dude with 12 Bugattis and 3 SVJs and 37 hookers, and they just think that he's going to be able to help them make all of that in a month. It's not like that. YouTube is in the past now. They do TikTok streams. Yeah, I got to figure out how to do all that. I know they have services to allow you to stream on like every platform at the same time, like Restream or whatever. But I haven't done any streams in months, so years. So I got to get used to it back on YouTube. Am I long already? No, not yet. No, not yet. I'm thinking about it. I'm just trying to watch this 15-minute candle. Because for me right now, as I mentioned, it's not really confirmed or not really a good sign that we can use that 50% low as a stop loss, right? It still can do a little fucking around, right? I don't want to use 61 because if it wants to break, if it wants to break 50, it might touch 61. It could touch any of the fibs and still be fine. So right now you have to have your stop loss here, right? I don't want a 330 pip stop. You know what I mean? But yeah, guys. I sorry I had to step away real quick. My son, you guys know how that is. Um, I'm not confident in buying right now because your stop loss is gonna be big as fuck. No one wants that. Even if your target is big as fuck, your lot's gonna be low. So if you wait for the more confirmation, if you wait for the second blue candle, you'll be able to have that stop loss a whole lot tighter, and it will just bigger lot size. You won't need to see, that entire move to make good profit. How long have I been trading? Since 2017, so almost 10 years. I don't know if you follow the Instagram, John, but I mean you probably do. But check my Instagram. I got a lot of my stuff there. It's just Forexfunded. But yeah, I mean, as always, if you guys have questions of anything, that's what the live is for. Ask your questions. Get I don't want to say get to know me. It's not really that type of stream, but the goal is to build a community of you guys who not only see that I'm good at what I do, but see that I am able to help you become a profitable trader. So you got questions, you got things that you don't understand about trading, like you might as well ask them and get somebody's input on them. You get what I'm saying? So we got the second blue candle, but I would have liked it to be a lot stronger than that, right? 1 hour is trying to give us a good rejection. Um, Also, do have that fresh EMA cross. Are retesting that, so things are looking real good, but you make the most money in trading if you're able to be patient. I am a big fan of that 4 hour close that got us clear back above our EMAs, clear back above our major range point, support resistance, whatever. But as you can see over here on the left, this whole area over here has been a massive, I can't really say massive, but has been a big accumulation zone. So here we are again accumulating at that same area. So, things might look perfect and still take a while for us to get any sort of move from it. I don't think it'll take all that long, right? Even then, this 15 is trying to move. So Maybe we'll be able to get active here at the start of next hour. But we'll have to see. I do like the longs, as I mentioned, but for me it's really that issue of the stop loss, and like I said, I don't think 50 is clear yet, right? I think it's a pretty big not big gamble, but there's that possibility that you want to retest your 50 a second time. It doesn't happen often, but if you knew just how many times I've been stopped out with some 10, 15 pip bullshit, like you would want to cry, you know? That's why I like your content, because I can see we have a similar approach in the market. I only trade gold, but I like to trade with fib and pretty much same percent on setting. Yeah, man. I mean, I use the base settings. I don't change any of my settings. Um, you know, but I am a very big believer in fib. I am a very big I'm just a big believer in fib, you know? I will give you my little rundown on that here in a second. I what's it called? My view on the market is that, 90% of the moves that you're seeing are done, by algorithms, by the big boys algorithm. And their algorithm is going to trade something fixed, you know, it's gonna use a fib, right? It's gonna use something that an algorithm can constantly use. You know what I mean? You can't say you can't say that a lot of strategies like fucking fair value gaps and all this other shit. You can't really, like, if you're smart, the big boys are not using fair value gaps, right? They might be leaving fair value gaps behind, and um, they might be they might have validity because of the way the algorithms work and the fact that if they leave a gap somewhere, they're wanting to close it. But in itself, I don't feel like that is super. What's the word? Super reliable. I'm just gonna be real. I don't think it's super reliable. So I don't give a fuck about any of that. ICT, whatever the fuck it is. I trade. It's like 85% fibs. Well, I can't even give you a percentage rise, right? Because my trading is I use a whole bunch of what do you want to call it? A whole bunch of confirmations for me to get in my trade, right? Fib is just one of the strongest, right? But as you guys have heard me talk about, you want a lot of confirmations. You want as many confirmations as you can find, right? And so the other tools that I really use in my trading are range points and my EMAs, right? At the end of the day, I want to trade with the trend. I want there to be a trend established, something that where you can see that, okay, the big boys, the market movers, they are clearly trying to push us to a certain level. They're trying to attack a certain level, and we're able to see that in the charts. So let's get active whenever the opportunity presents itself, right? Um, Now, sometimes you're unable to catch them in their tracks, right? But if you think of what someone should know about the market, right? What you know about the market is when you're trending, you're going to constantly say that you are trending bullish, right? What are you what are you going to make, right? You're going to constantly make higher highs and constantly make higher lows. So if you believe that you have your bearish pullback right here, right? once you break your higher your lower high, you're saying, okay, I'm willing to bet, I'm willing to gamble that we're gonna go and start going bullish. Well, you're gonna leave a higher low at some point, right? One of the best ways to figure out where that higher low is going to come from is going to be fib, right? So that's why I rely very heavily on fib, because I'm, like I say, I'm not trying to say, oh, this is our top, let me sell, or this is our bottom, let me sell. I don't really care for that. I just want to follow what the market is already doing, right? And at face value, that's what every trader is trying to do, but they fall victim to not sticking to that, right? Like for example, over here we took a couple buys, right? And we lost. We lost like 300 pips total, right? Our first trade of the week gave us 700, so all we did was lose profit, right? A lot of traders will continue to chase it instead of saying, okay, you know what? Even though we started to form our higher low, and then on lower time frames, like you have a lower high, and then we broke it, it's just not respecting it. So I need to fuck off with that idea of I need to fuck off with that idea of wanting to continue to buy, and you want to wait for something that you like, right? For me, what I was waiting for was, as I mentioned, if we were going to continue to sell off, which is fine, I was going to look for our 61. But since we broke our trend line, we established that we are above the most recent lower high, back above a range point. We have the fresh EMA flip, you know, that 4 hour close I was mentioning. It's telling me that, like, the odds are in my favor to try and go long, right? Whenever the opportunity presents itself. So that's how you're supposed to trade. You know what I mean? Like right now, right? When I was quiet and typing, I was because I was telling a mentorship that I went long, right? I don't want to say that on stream because I don't know. Y'all don't fucking give me nothing, right? But I am long on gold now, right? Our biggest concern right now is we need to make a new high, right? The longer it takes us to make a new high, we need to push immediately, because like I said, if we're using this tight stop loss and we start fucking around, we could come and test that, or we could come lower to 61 or even 78 and still be perfectly bullish. You know what I mean? So, as I mentioned, this 1 hour close is trying to close very strong. If we can get this bullish close, like similar to what it looks now, it's going to look like a nice rejection candle, which means the next hour should push us higher, should break these highs, and then, you know, start traveling up a bit, right? Where would my next area that I might find some turbulence be? Well, I would definitely look around 95 and then 52.15. And then I'm just looking at the highs. And then that's when we go to our targets that we established earlier. Well, I guess I really didn't establish them too much with you, but my main target in the near term is 52.95, right? For me, it is a couple things. I guess I can go over that for you guys. Why not? So first thing, 52.95, you can see it's a range point. It's a minor range point, but it's a range point, right? So let's go on this chart because it's a lot more simple, right? So if you take a look at a few things, one, your fib from your high to your low, you have 61 here, which is below the 95 target, but that's fine, right? We don't really care. Then from this low to this high, you have your 27 extension at 87. From this low to this high, you have your 27 extension at, we'll just call that 5300, right? So that is how I get my zone. I believe, if I'm going to be honest, one of these lows also had another extension there. I really don't remember which one it is. I'm not going to go over it because I don't feel like trying to bullshit my way to it. But that's all it takes for me to say that is why I want to target there. We have our fib extensions. We have our range point. If you go over to 1 hour, you can see if you pull this over a whole bunch, there's a bit of support and resistance there, right? Right, you broke clean above it, you retested it, you came back to it, fucked around it, and then just broke right below it. That's my reasoning for wanting to target 52.95, right? Overall, I do think we are going much higher. I believe, honestly, one other thing, if you're fucking Tory trend lines and you're putting a trend line, depending on when you hit it, right, you could be close to the trend line. Right? I don't really care about that, but you know, That could be your thing. But overall, after we get there, we'll either fall back to make mm, to really solidify that bullish structure, right? You could have something like that, or what you're gonna get is you're just gonna break it 100% and try to attack those highs, right? Those highs can bring the exact same thing that I just did over here, right? You could get that pretty big pullback and then establish higher, or you could just go right above them and start targeting your all-time highs. It's as simple as you need it to be. You don't really need to complicate things for yourself. But we'll see. Like I mentioned, I'm not gonna lie, I am long. I'll see you, Pablo. Have a great day. I am long, and the first stream I've done in literally like 4 years. So hopefully I don't get fucking railroaded right here and make myself look like I don't know what I'm doing. But if that happens, that happens. Losses are a part of the game. I can lose. I'll give you the results for this week. All the results for every week since 2026 started, I've posted on my Instagram. I didn't really do that last year or the years before that because I didn't really care to prove how profitable I was in terms of showing the losses in terms of pip count. But this year I have been. Right? This week we had 670 pips, then minus 35, minus 150, minus 200. So that's 350, 385 minus 670, or 670 minus 385, right? 670 670 minus 385. We're still up 285 pips this week, right? Still profitable, still in the blue. I can lose 285 pips before I go break even for the week. So I will risk whatever the fuck amount I'm risking, 125. All right? For me, 125 pips is it's not unheard of. It used to be a large stop loss, but ever since that very big, very strong uptrend over here, 125 pip stop loss is kind of uncommon now. If we're gonna be honest, at least with the way I trade. Right, I'm not getting these fucking 5 pip trades or 5 pip stop losses that don't work no more. But we'll see. But that's basically, this is just what I teach in my mentorship. That's crazy. I'm watching like the stream itself and the side, and holy fuck, it's delayed. I gotta figure out how to fix that delay. When I watch the stream right now, I'm watching where I outlined why 52.95 is my target. I swear to God, that was 3 minutes ago. That's crazy to me. But yeah, it's like I said, my mentorship is not designed for someone to come in and just receive signals all day long, right? You're going to get signals, yes, you get my trades. But the mentorship is designed for someone who's serious about becoming a full-time trader. You know what I mean? That's why it's not a monthly fee, right? And it's also not cheap. It takes money to make money. You're not supposed to think of it as, oh, I'm paying this dude. This is an investment in my trading career. You get what I mean? If you want to become a doctor, you're going to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars to becoming a doctor because you're going to be able to make money, right? So if you take that same principle and apply it here, are you willing to invest $2,000-3,000 in just your education? If you're not willing to invest $2,000 to $3,000 in your education, you need to figure out how to do it yourself, because I promise you, you are not going to find somebody who's going to make you a profitable trader who charges you $100 a month, $200-300 a month, right? It's just not gonna happen. I promise you that. It's just the way it is. If you're serious about it, you have to find somebody who's serious about teaching, who knows how to trade. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I am the only person who can teach you, but I know I am a very good teacher. Like I said, I know I have hundreds of students who have became profitable with my help. Some of them started from nothing. Some of them needed to erase what they knew about the market. That way they could relearn what works, right? But we're gonna have a bunch of those videos coming out soon. I'm in the process of beginning the interviews with some of my past students from when I did, private mentorships, to just go over, where they were when they joined me, and where they are now, and if they would pay it again, right? And it's not paid. They're not getting money to do it, right? They're doing it because they're thankful for what I've been able to do for them. So maybe when you see fucking 12 people talk about how I helped them go from a bartender or working at Target or working at Starbucks to being able to work from their computer, maybe that will give you what you need, right? I know I have almost 10 years of trades on my Instagram, but some people don't like that, just because I don't post my personal life, because I don't show my cars or jewelry or women with huge fake tits. Like, that's not me, right? So, and I'm not gonna go out here and do things just to appeal to the masses. So, we'll see. It's like I said at the beginning of this stream. This is my last year of trying to help other people. If I can't start making good money from educating people, then I'm not going to educate anybody, right? I'm not going to sit here and let people like Alex G and Lambo Raul and Tory Trades make $250,000 a month when I honestly believe I'm a better trader than them. I believe they are 10 times better at marketing than me, but that's the problem with the internet right now. These people aren't traders, they are marketers. They know how to market themselves to the people that are looking to buy a dream. I'm not here to sell dreams. I'm here to give you knowledge. In my garage, my Lambos, high low pounds. But it's like I said, you know I will be doing these streams somewhat regularly. I'll be going live on YouTube at least twice a week. And then for the mentorship, I'll be going live almost every day, even if it's a 5-minute live. So even if you don't join the mentorship, you can still get some real good knowledge on YouTube for free. And then if you decide you're ready to really take that next step to becoming a fully profitable trader, then you join the mentorship, and you get direct access to me. You get my full A to Z, 0 to 100 trading strategy. You get me to help you implement it into your life. You know, you get all the live archive. You get everything you need to become a profitable trader, right? It's not going to happen overnight, but if you're serious about it, then, within 3 months, you'll definitely be feeling 10 times better about trading than you do now. And you could even have your own funded account, right? Most of the success that has came from my students has been within the first 3 months, right? For those that are really trying to apply it, it's not going to take them long, right? It's really not. um but there are, obviously there are those people who think they have to do less than they do, and it either takes longer for them or they give up on it, right? But it's all part of the game. Sometimes people just don't want it as bad as they say they do. Anyways, I guess that is where we will end the stream. I appreciate all of you guys tuning in to the first stream of the year. I promise you it will not be the last. It will be getting on a regular schedule. But, in order for me to continue to want to stream for you guys on YouTube, like, you guys got to show me some support. Hit the follow, the subscribe, like the video, share the video with your friends, right? I promise you there's not many people who will be giving out as much knowledge as I am on trading for free on YouTube, right? I promise you it's not. You're not going to find a lot of people that give out real good knowledge, right? There are some diamonds in the rough, but for the most part, everybody wants to sell you something, right? I want to sell you something, but I'm not gonna make you pay if you don't want to, right? I'll still give you these free lives once or twice a week. I'll still answer your questions on live. Maybe I won't go super in depth to my strategy, right? But I'll be here to help you. So, as always, I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. Hope you guys have been having a great trading week. And I'll see you in the mentorship. I'll see you on the next stream, whatever it may be. Hope y'all have a